Hello everyone, welcome to Conversations from ACFI Annual Conclave in New Delhi. I am Rajarshi Chatterjee from Stat Trade Times, and right now with me I have Rajesh Menon, Regional Head of Cargo, South Asia, Middle East, Africa, Cathay Cargo. Thank you for joining us, Rajesh.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me.
So across your region, South Asia, the Middle East and Africa, what is the most exciting shift that you are observing right now?
I think last few years, I would say from the time of COVID, I think the whole logistic chain where the demand and supply has completely shifted. So in that, it's all about being agile, is what our industry has taught us. And in the whole gamut, what I felt was the shift in the business, where we had a lot of dependency towards that high demand, like North America, for an example. But what we did was we tried to reinvent ourselves through a lot of research and data analytics to say where is that we're not getting the business. And what we found was we grew a completely new market. Like, for example, Bangladesh is a very important market for us who exports the maximum to Europe and US. But what we found is since the SpaceX Hong Kong was completely, we focused on Northeast Asia, and Japan became a core market. And I feel this whole evolution of finding new routes, I think, has been the most exciting factor for my region.
And what is the most dominating type of cargo in that region?
I think it's a mix of everything. General cargo obviously is the biggest when it comes to our region, but what we specialize is into special products. If you ask me, all the odd dimension cargo, especially because we have freighter capabilities, which has Boeing 747s, which has a nose loading. So our capability of serving that type of a product, which is odd dimension, like for an example, it's engines, it's about cars. These type of main deck solution is our strength. So I feel we are doing extremely well. 50% of our current revenue comes from only special products. So I feel that's the type of confidence which the trade has on us. And as our brand ethos says, we know how. We try to tell that we know how because we expertise in all these products. So I think that's the key element over here.
Right. And with all the disruptions around tariff changes happening, are you seeing a relative softening of demand out of mainland China and Hong Kong? If so, then what is driving that change?
I think it's a given. Everyone knows that tariff has been a pain point, and everyone's reeling under it. Everyone's living in uncertainty. But I think the first 6 months for us as an airline, as I said, COVID has taught us to be agile. So this is one more phase I feel where a lot of things are a little brittle, and we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But with that, what has happened? We have tried to develop new markets. At the same time, China or Hong Kong for us is our biggest market, where still there's a lot of export which happens. There is a little bit of softening, but the fact is everyone is trying to send as much they can before the final verdict comes out. So I would say the 6 months have been extremely good for us, and against our budgets, we are exceeded in the first 6 months itself. We can imagine that's really not worked against us, but at the same time, it's all about being agile, as I said. So we have already seen new markets which is supported, like Southeast Asia, Vietnam, and the entire Southeast Asia has been active, including my region, which is India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. Everyone's contributed to the overall, space which is opening up, which is still not big at this stage, which we'll come to know better in the second half of this year.
Right. And as supply chains diversify more, if you could tell us more about the kind of commodities that are moving out of these emerging markets like India, Vietnam, or Bangladesh.
I think it's a lot of technology based because the investments are moving to these areas because the cost of production lines are much more cheaper. So that's why it's moving. Classic case within India, I think everyone knows the type of mobiles which is being produced. It's likes of Apple or it's Samsung. They have moved the maximum of the production lines into India. So obviously then there's export demand. and one of the key drivers for us down south especially has been the mobile movements. But at the same time, we have not been taking much in the past. Reason being, the e-commerce was a key driver ex Hong Kong, so that was taking care of the high yielding business. So we were shying away from that business for so long time, but we have found different options to cater to this requirement of Apple, and that's the key driver for us. And at the same time, as I was talking about, is about how do we evolve and change. So what we have seen is many of these products are going into China also, Northeast Asia also, and within Southeast Asia. So that means a new market is emerging, and we are ensuring we're catering to those markets.
Right. And then, hypothetically, if the final verdict comes out in favor of Chinese exports, how do you see the market changing then?
If it goes in their favor, I think that's been the case for many years in the past. So that means the last 6 months, what we saw, we just continue that. The 6 month was just a disruptor, but the fact that it goes back, I would say that there's no change. What we see in the past continues. But more than China, I think what others are going to be impacted, like the first list which has come out, it's not been good for many, especially in Southeast Asia and South Asia also. So that means it's not just about China, but I think it's also about how others will get also impacted, which includes India. So we need to wait and watch what's more and how this whole economic activity is going to move from which part of the world to which part.
And with this regional shift in production and trade flows, is Cathay Cargo planning to boost capacity, especially in South Asia or Southeast Asia?
We have been very pretty agile in this space because we always do a research and we don't keep it stuck, but we like to keep a schedule in place so that our customers feel comfortable to book with us to see that production, what they're doing is we are giving the supply. But at the same time, what you said rightly is about how the shift is happening. According to that, we already moved quite of our freighters into Vietnam, especially Hanoi, because that's where the maximum export is happening, and we have added more capacity over there. So that's already done. So that means it's been agile and we have acted on it, and that will continue throughout because we have a planning team who does this research continuously to see where the best optimization of our capacity of our freighters is done so that we maximize on the revenue front. That's where the revenue management team works closely with that.
Right. And my last question is on a uh, personal note, that is, if you could share a personal memory or a story related to air cargo.
I think I'm pretty new into cargo because I've been in the industry, aviation industry for the last 20 years. But the fact is, for cargo has been 6 years. Uh, I think memories for me, the 6 years, in that the key element has been COVID has been a big disruptor for me, I felt. But at the same time, has brought in a lot of changes within cargo in the form of technological advancement has been faster, where people were being requested, but here people were forced to use it. I feel cargo industry has changed immensely in last 6 years time. And when I talk 6 years back to now, a lot of our skills have completely changed because technologies have taken over. Digitalization has been a thumb rule for everyone. So I feel that element with the data, I think the ability to drive new business has been the key, story which I would say that which has made a huge difference in my, 6 years career in cargo.
What, according to you, is the most exciting type of cargo or shipment?
I think when it comes to, I think due respect to all the commodities and everything, I just feel from a airline per se, when I look at the odd dimension cargo, especially the huge engines, a Ferrari, and the new launching cars, which is all wrapped up and is going for R&D, the ability how you load them, the strapping, the safety aspect is very technically very difficult to do that. I think the expertise which our teams do handle that. I feel the high comes. I can see the excitement within our teams, and it's a different ball game. I think I feel that's great. And one thing which is about the nose opening, which I was talking about with the aircrafts, when you have a huge pipe, you can't load through the normal hold. It has to be opened and put it. The whole aircraft is loaded with one huge pipe. I think these are very unique, cargo, and I feel there is a great amount of expertise needed. So for me, I think watching that whole thing getting loaded from the time the inquiry comes to execution, it's a lot of work there. So I just feel as a team, I think we all as a team, I think we get excited and we feel very happy.
Great. So in Air Cargo, we are always looking towards overcoming all those challenges and shipping goods that matter, that create an impact, and always on time.
Exactly. That's the reason, air cargo is built, because it's all about time bond. It's precious, and how can we save people's time? So that's why the percentage which goes by air is very small, but the impact is huge because the value is almost 35%, while actually goes only 3 to 4%. You can imagine the value which comes out of it. So that means people pay for service. So I think we take, as Cathay Cargo, we take pride in service. So yes, that's how it is.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice talking to you.